Hey everybody, how's it going? Man, I hope you're having a fantastic day today, and let's rejoice and be glad on this fantastic Friday. It's the day the Lord has made. We can always find something to be rejoicing about and be glad about, even when it seems like it's just going sideways all day long. That hasn't been the case for me, but sometimes it does. I got something new. Here behind me, I got a little shelf right here, and it has some of my favorite items here on the bottom shelf. Is all the stuff that I brought back from Israel, and just absolutely some of my favorite things. I got water from the Jordan River. I got water from the Dead Sea. I don't have that up there yet. I'm going to put that up there. I got a communion cup where we had the Lord's Supper there in Israel, and just and some rocks. I got a rock from the Garden of Gethsemane. It was just gravel they had laid down there. It wasn't rocks from when Jesus was there, but it is a rock from trust me, there are lots of rocks in Israel. They're not going to miss one or two. And I got a rock from Mount Carmel where Elijah was there in the Old Testament. And so today I want to talk to you about something that just really a fantastic quiet time this morning. They always are. I just love, I have, one of these days I'm going to start doing some reviews on devotionals, some of my favorites, and just tell you why I like them and stuff like that. But for today, let's talk about this. Jesus comes to the pool of Bethsaida. Now, I have been to that pool in Israel, talking about my stuff back there on the shelf, and I just thought about this story, this miracle that Jesus performs as I was sitting there, and it was just like it was one of those unreal experiences, as you can imagine. Now, here is Jesus going to the pool, and here's this guy that's been laying here for years and years and years and years. And Jesus comes up to him and he asks him a fascinating question. And this is John chapter 5, verse 6. And he says this, "Do you want to get well?" And the guy says, "Well, yeah, I want to get well, you know." And it's like, man, what kind of question is that? Yeah, I want to get well, but I can't because every time I try to get down to the water, people beat me to it. And, you know, sitting there at that pool, you can imagine what that must have been like there. And so Jesus finally says to him, "Take up your mat and walk." You know, I think that it is a fascinating question that Jesus asked this guy. Because later on, you know, the guy takes off with his mat and he don't even know who healed him. He didn't even realize it was Jesus the Messiah that had healed him. He just runs off, and the Pharisees, and they come to him and they talk to him, "Who done that?" And he goes, "I don't know, but it was wonderful, you know." I think we are like that sometimes, is that we want to get well, but then we don't do it because and I like the way the Quiet Time said it this morning. It says, sometimes we struggle for years with some kind of, and it said it this way, debilitating sin or destructive habit. And people can be hung up on a sin for years and years and years and years, and it just becomes part of their life, becomes really who they are. And it just really, it's just really, it's destructive in their life, and it holds them back from doing the things that God wants them to do, and they just feel like they're unworthy and all of that kind of stuff. Or maybe, you know, I've just spoken much about how I feel about this. You know, sometimes I have this. I used to hold grudges. I mean, I just, you know, if somebody did me wrong, and you know, and people did my family wrong, man, I would just be mad about it and angry about it. And there's a little bit of that, but I'm fighting against it. I'm fighting against it because I just don't want to be like that. I don't want to be held captive by bitterness and anger in my life, and so I just want to set that aside, and I want to have a forgiving spirit. And so, but we have to do that. We have to come to the Lord and say, "Lord, yes, I do want to get well." And then we have to do something about it. We have to take steps to say, "Lord, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to just follow you. I'm going to work on that habit. I'm maybe that sin, maybe you just need some accountability and go to somebody and say, Lord, or say to that person, you know, Here's my struggle, and here's what I need to do. And so whatever it is, take care of those kind of things in your life, because we do want to be well. We do want to walk with joy and skipping our step every day. And we do want to say what a fantastic day it is, even in the midst of our struggles and our trials. And so if you're going through something, just know that God's right there with you. He's asking you right now, do you want to get well? Well, pick up that mat and get well and start taking care of those issues in your life. God bless you. Hope that helps somebody out. See you next time. Bye.